It started with a phone call that shattered everything. Mark was just finishing his late-night shift when his phone buzzed with a strange number. Usually he ignored such calls, but something about this one felt different. Curiosity got the better of him and he answered. "Is this Mark Johnson?" a stern voice asked. "Yes, who's this?" Mark replied, rubbing his tired eyes. "This is Detective Harris. I need to speak with you about a property claim. It's urgent." Mark's heart skipped a beat. Property claim? What the hell was going on? He barely had time to process it when the detective continued. "Mr. Johnson, we've received reports that someone is living in a house registered under your name, but as far as we can tell, you have no legal claim or ownership to this property." Mark's mind froze. He knew exactly what house they were talking about. The old abandoned mansion on the outskirts of town, a place he'd driven past dozens of times. It was a crumbling relic, rumored to be haunted, long considered uninhabited. "Are you telling me someone is living there? Claiming it as theirs?" Mark managed to ask, voice trembling. "Exactly. And apparently, they've been there for months. They've changed the locks and their name is on the mailbox." The world spun around Mark. He didn't own that house. He never did. His father had bought it decades ago, but after his father disappeared and his family fell apart, the house was abandoned, or so he thought. "What do I do?" Mark asked, voice hoarse. "Stay where you are. We're sending officers to verify." "Other situation. But from what I see here, someone has forged documents, altered the ownership records, and essentially stolen your identity to claim this property." Stolen his identity? That was impossible. Or was it? Mark felt a cold sweat break out. Someone had taken his name, his history, and now they were living in a house that was never theirs. And the worst part? The house was just a few miles from his own home. He looked out the window into the darkness, feeling a strange mix of rage and dread. Who was this person? How long had they been there? And most terrifying of all, what did they want from him? As sirens echoed in the distance, Mark knew one thing. He was about to step into a world of secrets darker than he had ever imagined. The sirens grew louder as Mark watched the flashing lights approach. His stomach tightened. The officers burst through the door of the abandoned house, guns drawn, shouting commands. Inside, they found nothing but dust and shadows, no sign of anyone living there. But Mark knew better. Someone had been inside recently. Someone who didn't want to be found. Suddenly, the front door slammed shut behind the officers. Mark's heart pounded. He pushed forward, trying to see what was happening. His phone buzzed again, a message from an unknown number. "You're too late." His hands trembled as he unlocked the screen. The message was followed by a photo, a blurry shot of his own car parked outside his house, taken from a distance. Someone had been watching him. He looked up to see one of the officers signaling him over. "Sir, we're not finding anyone inside, but we did find fresh footprints leading into the basement. Looks recent." Mark's mind spun. The house was empty, yet someone had been there. Someone who knew he was coming. He remembered the message. "You're too late." Who sent it? And what did they mean? A sudden noise from the backyard made his blood run cold. It sounded like footsteps. Deliberate, heavy, approaching. He moved closer to the window, peering out into the darkness. An outline appeared behind the trees, slow and steady. Someone was watching him. Then the lights flickered. The power in his entire house went out. Darkness swallowed everything. He reached for his phone, but it was dead. No signal, no way to call for help. A voice whispered from the shadows outside, clear now. "You shouldn't have come here, Mark." His breath caught. How did they know his name? Who was this? And why did they want him to stay away? The footsteps grew louder, circling the house. Someone was inside. Someone who had been waiting for this moment. And then, just as suddenly, silence. Mark's mind raced. Whatever this was, it was only just beginning, certainly. Here's the final chapter, starting immediately from the cliffhanger of the previous scene, with intense action, suspense, simple language, powerful dialogues, and a mind-blowing ending. Safi D. Footsteps stopped abruptly outside. Mark's heart hammered so loudly, he was sure everyone could hear it. He pressed himself against the wall, eyes darting around, trying to find a way out. A shadow moved in the corner of his vision. Someone was inside the house with him. Suddenly, the door handle rattled. Someone was trying to open it. Mark froze. Clutching a heavy object he grabbed from the table, a broken piece of wood. His hands trembled, sweat pouring down his face. The door swung open slowly, creaking like a horror movie. A figure stepped inside. Not a stranger, not an intruder, but someone he knew, someone he thought was dead. It was his father, but not the same man Mark remembered. His face was gaunt, eyes hollow, scars crossing his cheek. His voice was cold and distant. "Did you really think you could run from this?" his father whispered, voice trembling but sharp. "You thought you could hide from the truth." Mark backed away, gasping. "Dad, how are you alive?" His father's lips curled into a faint smile. "I've been waiting for the right moment to show you what I've done, what they've done." Suddenly, a faint laugh echoed from behind his father. Mark turned sharply. Standing in the doorway was a woman he'd never seen before, beautiful but cold, with piercing eyes. "I've been waiting too," she said softly, stepping forward. "You thought your father was dead, didn't you? No, he's been hiding, just like you." Mark's mind spun. "Who are you? What is this?" The woman's smile grew darker. "I'm the reason your father vanished, the reason everything you knew about your family was a lie. And now you're part of it." His father stepped closer, voice trembling with anger. "You betrayed us, Mark. You think you're special. You think you're the only one who's been hurt?" Mark stared in shock. "What are you talking about?" The woman reached into her pocket and pulled out a small, familiar-looking device. It beeped softly. "This is what you've been searching for. The proof. The truth about everything." He looked at her, confused. "What truth?" She pressed a button. Suddenly, a hidden panel opened in the wall behind her. Inside there was a box. Mark's heart stopped. It was his father's belongings. Photos, letters, recordings. "I found this," she whispered, "because I knew the secret your family kept buried, the one that can destroy everything you believe in." His father's eyes flickered with fear and rage. "You don't understand. It's not just about us. It's about power, control. And now, you've stumbled right into the middle of it." Mark reached out, trembling. "But what is it? The truth?" The woman looked at him with a twisted smile. "The truth about who really killed your mother, about why your father disappeared, about the secret society that's been pulling strings behind the scenes, and about the night everything changed." The room suddenly shook. A hidden trapdoor opened beneath their feet. Darkness spilled out. A voice boomed from the depths, deep and echoing. "Welcome to the truth, Mark." And in that moment, Mark realized something horrifying. He wasn't just fighting for his family. He was about to uncover a conspiracy so vast, so deadly, that everything he thought he knew would shatter forever, because the real secret was still waiting in the darkness. And it wanted him to come closer.